Hi, Mayor.
Aren't you lucky, Joe?
Yes. It is the
Good morning.
Good morning. It's the highlight of my week, every week, absolutely.
That's very sad.
I live a sheltered life, Mayor. The last week of September. I think I made a mistake last week and said last week was the last week, but this is the last week.
This is really the last week.
It really
Indeed.
is, yeah.
Beautiful time of year. I love this time of year, weather-wise.
Yeah, I know this is your favorite. Have you been apple picking yet?
Actually, my wife and daughter had gone Sunday. I couldn't go with them, but yes, I'm enjoying their harvest.
Very nice.
Nothing like a fresh-picked apple.
It's so true, yeah. It's also the time of year I know that crews are scrambling to get all the road work done before winter, right?
Yeah, indeed. We've got a lot of road work done. Obviously the DPW crews work on trenches, but we've got some big contractors doing an awful lot of streets, which is great. Mario Susi and Fred Naroma, two different companies. I think they're the best in the business. They do a great job. And, of course, Norton continues to bang away at the water main replacements. He's really got quite a niche there. He continues to win all the contracts and does a great job. So that in combination with National Grid, so those projects will continue. Some of those streets will be patched and then settled for the winter, and then next year the streets get redone. So we have no settling later. So good. Commissioner Grazioso, his team, they do a great job getting this work on the street. Obviously overseeing it, make sure it's being performed to the specs. And I've gotten I've actually got a lot of, which doesn't happen often in my business, we get a lot of thank yous, emails and phone calls, really praising the work that's been done. So people seem to be pleased. And I know there's streets that we haven't got to yet. Those people aren't happy yet, but we have a great plan in place, and we're making tremendous progress. And I thank the City Council for their support when we went before them for the appropriation.
Is the Marymount Parkway project underway? I know that was delayed a bit.
It is underway now, yes.
Okay.
It's the parkway between the bridge and Hancock Street. The bridge is a separate project.
Gotcha. And is there a separate project timeline for sidewalks? How are the sidewalks handled, Mayor?
Well, when we do the streets, we do everything.
Okay.
So those streets that have been disrupted, now, the curbs, if there's no curbs, we put curbs in. Except when there's a good-sized tree, we kind of go around the tree on the curbs to give the tree a chance to make, because if you did try to, disrupt the root structure in some of those cases, you'd lose the tree completely. So, but for the most part, new granite curbs if there aren't curbs already, and then concrete sidewalks. In some places, we use the asphalt over the roots of the trees to just, again, try to save the tree and keep it going for a number of years. And then if you lose the tree down the road, you're going to replace it with the concrete, and then you put the curbing in. But I've got a lot of comments from people. And when you drive down the street, when it's finished, the beautiful blacktop, the granite curb, and the concrete sidewalk with the loom board is freshly seeded, it really looks beautiful. And people notice it.
The work is underway, I see, in front of the United First Parish Church for the new Abigail Adams statue.
Yes, indeed. We're looking to dedicate the statue on November 5th.
Okay.
It's a Saturday at 11 a.m.
And of course, that's a public dedication.
Public dedication. The public is welcome.
Very good.
I think I talked to you before about speakers. We got two keynote speakers. The president of the Mass Historic Society, Catherine Algor, who has written books, including Power Politics, obviously with emphasis on some of the Adams ladies. And then Danielle Allen, who's going to be a board member on the Adams Presidential Center. She's a professor at Harvard. She's an expert on the Adamses. So they'll be the two keynotes. So we're looking forward to it.
Oh, that's very good. So November 5th, I'm sorry, what time?
11 a.m.
11 a.m. Very nice. Is the statue in the city?
It is not.
No.
She hasn't arrived yet. She'll be in flight soon.
Okay.
We're not taking any chances. We're flying her. We're not sending her by ship.
Very good. And the former statue, has that been relocated already?
By the way, I'm sure that's the first time Abigail's flown.
I was just going to say the same thing, actually.
I'm sorry, what was that?
I was wondering if the former statue has been relocated to Marymount Park yet.
Yes, they've actually, at the Adams Walk, right near the fountain at Marymount Park. They were unveiled yesterday. Mr. Cohane, chair of the partnership, myself, Mary Ann Peak, and some kids from Central Middle School were there to do it.
Ah, very nice.
They look good. I think they really look like they fit right there. It's nicely designed. So I thank Commissioner Murphy and his team for pulling it off.
Very good. Can we talk a little bit, Mayor, about the upcoming City Council meeting? And I know that you had mentioned last week you would need another appropriation to finish the public safety complex.
Yes, I don't know if people truly understand what's going on in the economy. If you're doing work in your house, you probably do, because of the time it takes to get materials, but also the cost of things is really crazy. And Public Safety Headquarters is dealing with a major cost. And it's not an overrun in the typical way of the project has slowed down and extra hours and change orders. It's just simply the cost of building it. With materials and labor today, it's a challenge. So, yeah, Monday night, I don't know the final amount right in front of me, but it's going to be significant. We'll be going to the council with that request for appropriation so that we can get this building finished, underway and finished. And I certainly remind people, and the council is certainly aware of this, that this is a 50 to 100 year building. This is being built with very good specifications, with top quality materials so that the building lasts. And, I've seen over the years when things are done on the cheap, including the police station, when the addition was done, $10 million was spent on that, and it was falling apart in no time. So, it's important and imperative we do it right so that it's around for a long time.
Mm-hmm. So I think the initial allocation was $120 million.
Yes, but keep in mind, and for folks who particularly hear that's all inclusive, though, of the complete rebuilding of Broad Street, the utilities, the park on the corner, the parking deck on the back of the building. That's not all building.
Okay.
That included some land to purchase for the Father Bill's shelter as well. So that's all in at that point. But yes, it will be. I don't have it in front of me, Joe, but I guess it's in the $20 million range or higher.
Okay. And is the timeline still on track from the initial estimate?
Well, we had made the decision to just slow it a bit so we could get, instead of paying for a interim location for the homeless shelter, we're able to get them, and they were successful in getting money raised. So the shelter now is being built across the street, the new shelter. We're kind of waiting for them to get at least the first phase done so they can move in and the site work can continue. As you know, we've moved the animal shelter out into an interim location over at Squantum Gardens area. And so that's out of the way. That's a good thing. And nobody will miss that shelter. That was one primitive shelter location. So.
Always remind me of an airplane hangar.
Oh, a mini one, yes.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking to the director of the animal shelter, by the way, she is thrilled with the temporary location, and she said the volunteers are just ecstatic over it. So it's a huge improvement already.
Well, it's a nice setup, but anything would have been improved over where they were. So I appreciate their work and their patience. They've been so terrific to work with. They're a great group of people. They really believe in the mission, of helping these animals. So we're grateful for the work they do.
I know that the board of directors for the MBTA is meeting later this week, Mayor, and you are an integral part of that, of course. What do you hope to come out of that?
Well, I have to set aside about 3 hours on the schedule. Sometimes just the public comment period, which under Zoom they come in by voicemail for the most part, can go on for 45 minutes. So the meetings are extensive. But we're expecting certainly an update from the general manager on a number of things that have been going on with the T. Of course, the Orange Line seems to be going well. We had a major disruption yesterday morning with appears to be a double suicide on the tracks near Wollaston Station.
Yeah.
I mean, there's things that happen every day in a system this large, in a system this old, and certainly we usually get an update on all those items. I expect to see the agenda today. I'm not sure if there's any action items on there or not as far as requests for capital, etc. But there's an awful lot of work going on out there as we speak, and which is a good thing. I think we're getting there. I don't think we've turned the corner quite yet, but we're certainly on the way to do that.
Yeah. Well, Saturday is October, and here in Quincy, that means it's the Food Truck Festival.
Indeed. And the weather looks like it's going to be a great day.
It does, yeah.
So the food truck festival. There's a number of different trucks that arrive, do various types of food, and there'll be bands playing. It's Coddington Street, right by the right between actually Bethany Church and the school department headquarters in Coddington, and it's always a good take. I know people enjoy it. You know, people should show up and enjoy the event. Is free. Obviously, you pay for your food, whatever you buy off the trucks. And I probably will grab a whoopie pie or two, Joe. I've been known to do that. But it's a great event. I certainly encourage people to attend.
Yes, I'm told the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile is going to be there, too. So
I'm a Deutschmacher guy. I'm not sure about Oscar Mayer. But I'm sure it'll be interesting to see the wagon.
Very good. Appreciate your time, Mayor. Have a wonderful day.
You also, Joe.
Yep.
Take care.
Bye-bye.